Hi guys, my name is Michael. Welcome back. So today I want to share with you a couple of things. I believe that this might be the last deep buying opportunity that we see in the market. At least for the rest of this year. So I want us to take advantage of this opportunity to buy a lot of good quality assets. At very cheap prices. So if you notice, a lot of people are talking about recession. Recession seems to be the buzzword. Everyone is talking about the possibility that the US might go into a recession. Obviously, this will be negative for the global economy, and nobody wants that. So this whole recession talk is getting a lot of investors worried. So we are seeing mixed signals in the market right now. Some investors are trying to, find safe haven. The risk appetite right now in the market is low because of this worry that there might be a recession at some point, in the United States. And this is very important for us to understand as investors because we need to be able to gauge the sentiments of the market to understand where money is flowing from and where money is flowing to. So right now we're going to look at the greed and fear index, and you can see that right now it is pointing to fear, which is telling us that a lot of investors are worried about something, in this case a recession. So we're going to see money flow away from risky assets into safe assets, like bonds and treasuries, all those kind of things. So whenever this index is pointing to fear, what we tend to see is that money flows away from risky assets, i.e. crypto and other, tech stocks, and move into safe asset. And this is something that we need to understand, because if you take a look at the article next to the article here, it says that investors pull out $1.2 billion from Bitcoin ETFs in the last 8 days. So this is just in line with what we're talking about. Whenever we see this index in fear, money will be moving away from risky assets into safe assets. And as we know right now, crypto is still considered risky assets. So the bearish sentiments that we are seeing in the crypto space, can be explained by what is happening, with the investor sentiment, which is everyone is worried, everyone is afraid. So that is why we are seeing, this sort of bearish sentiment in the crypto market. Now, it's also important for us to understand that at some point, this signal is going to switch over because of a number of catalysts that are on the horizon. So as investors, we're watching the sentiment of the market, because what we want to see is that we want to see the sentiment of the market at greed or extremely greedy. This is where we see a lot of people taking a lot of risks with money, with capital. A lot of people are willing to invest in things like tech stock, growth stocks, and also crypto markets. So as investors, we're looking at this gauge to understand where the sentiment is, to understand where money is flowing to. And we know that this gauge is going to switch to greed at some point, because we have we have some catalysts on the horizon. One of them is the fact that the Federal Reserve might be cutting interest rate, in a couple of weeks. And a lot of people are talking about the fact that they might go as high as 50 basis points. And this is just going to be the start of their interest rate cutting cycle. So we all know what happens when the Federal Reserve cut interest rate, right? Money becomes cheap. A lot of people are able to borrow money at very cheap rates, which means that people can take more risk. People can invest in more risky assets, i.e. crypto and all those things. So that's the catalyst that is on the horizon. So we are now at fear, but we expect this to switch to greed at some point. So why is this important for us as investors? It's important to know that as an investor, in order to make money in this market, at some point you will have to be contrary to the public. You will have to be contrary to the public. That means you will have to buy when others are selling, and you have to sell when others are buying. That's the way to make money in this market. So what are we saying here? When we see the greed and fear index pointing to fear, this is our buying signal. This means that a lot of people are worried. A lot of people are, there are more sellers in the market than buyers, right? And at this point, you as an investor who knows what he wants to buy, who knows the asset that he's going shopping for, this is the time to get good and great opportunities in the market, because a lot of people are selling. So you are there to pick up those assets at very cheap prices. So this is the whole idea of investing: buying low and selling high. Do you get? And that is a concept that we must understand. A lot of people come into investing, and what they are doing is they want to buy high and sell higher, but that's not how it works. You have to buy low and then sell high. So what am I saying right now? Right now, that a lot of people are worried about recession, a lot of people are selling, especially in the crypto space. This is the time to go shopping. This is the time to be buying low. Do you understand? So that when the Federal Reserve begins cutting rate and we start seeing money flow back into risky assets, it will be time for you to sell at a high price. So that is something that we need to understand, and that is really the only way for us to get ahead in the investment space, buying low and selling high. So another thing I want to put into bring to your attention is the things that we need to be looking out for in this time. A lot of the things we're talking about right now are going down in price. If you think about oil, if you think about XRP, XLM, XDC, all these things are going down in price. So this is the time for us to start going shopping, going into the market, looking for great deals. There might be a great deal for XDC right now. There might be a better deal for XLM. This is the time to go shopping. Also in oil, we can see that oil is going down, and I am very bullish on oil in the next 12 months. So at this rate where we see oil coming down below 70, the support of $70, oil is now below that support. This is the time to start looking at oil. And I've talked about oil, companies that we can use to track the price of oil. Companies like ExxonMobil and ConocoPhillips. Those are good investment vehicles if you are bullish about the oil market. So this is the time for us to go shopping when everyone is worried, when everyone is scared, when people are selling. This is the time to slip into the market, look at those assets that that you've done your research on, and that these are quality assets, and you can buy them at cheap price. I've always talked about gold. That this is something that we need to look into. So let us be focused right now. Don't be worried about the whole fears about recession. Just understand what you're looking for in the market, and then when you see people start running away from it, that is when you run to it. And that is the only way you can get ahead as an investor. You have to be contrary to the public at some point. You can't always do what the public is doing if you want to get ahead. So you have to be a contrarian at some point, in the market to get ahead. So guys, I just thought I'd bring that to your attention, that you should start looking, become a sniper in the market, right? Start looking for great deals in the market and start building your positions little by little, so that when the Federal Reserve begins to cut rates and things begin to get bullish again, you can be in a good position to profit from that bull market. So guys, I just thought I'd bring this to your attention. Thank you so much for listening. Please do subscribe to the channel, click on the notification bell, and I'll see you guys later. Bye for now.